Hi, sweeties. How are you doing? Welcome tonight. Simnai, I hope you are doing great. I mean, a lot has really been going on and Purple Revolution and all that. I wanted to know that most white people actually knew that their people are lying with the Purple Revolution and that they are looking for somebody to recruit, which they know that black people are strong-headed people already. They apologized and black people told them to shove that apology wherever they want to shove it. Not even up to how many 24 hours it collapsed, their true color started coming out. The person that came out to say that he is starting a purple revolution, now changed his name to Purple Revolution, decided to change back his name to Restoring Old America. Why? Because he felt like his bait wasn't going to work. Now let me tell us something. White people are very good at gaslighting. They know what they did. They knew that they did horrible. Like they did horribly. They were horrible during the past election. And to them, you and I can actually testify that these people did not believe that the effect of this election will hit them. You and I know that. They didn't believe that the effect of this election was going to hit them, but now it is hitting them real bad. And they are looking for someone to we don't want to fall alone. We don't want to be in this alone. Let's also look for a way to bring them in. But black people are so much ahead of them and it's not working. They are out there crying blood. Okay, crying. Let's get into this.
Purple is one of my most favorite colors. Purple Revolution, though? Yeah, you can miss me with that nonsense. A white person come up with that? Probably. Is this like some pink pussy hat, blue bracelet bullshit? Like what is this? I don't want any part of it. Okay? I'm not going to compromise on certain things because MAGA is finally upset about some shit. Okay? What? Purple Revolution? Get the
The Purple Revolution is bullshit, part one. Part one of why the Purple Revolution is bullshit. It alludes to the fact that both Democrats and Republicans were wrong. And because we were both wrong, we were all wrong. We need to meet in the middle and kind of mesh and combine the blue and the red and work together because we both were wrong. And fuck that. Everybody, the independents, the Maya Ayunis, the Conscious Lees, the Republicans, the MAGA, everybody who voted against Kamala last year in November, it is time for all of you to admit that you were wrong and this man is destroying this country. Long before Election Day, we started warning you guys exactly what would happen. Kamala Harris herself, her entire campaign was based on telling you guys, warning you guys, what would happen if this man got in office. Time and time and time again, you all were warned. We told you about Project 2025. We told you about martial law, about this man using the military against the American citizens. You all were warned. Farmers in Arkansas, you were warned. Everybody was warned. And all of you still decided to vote against Kamala Harris. We are totally secure and we stand in 10 toes down with the decision that we made. We made the right decision. We tried so hard. We worked so hard to prevent what is happening right now from happening in this country. And you all worked against us. So we don't have to meet anybody in the middle. Y'all belong over here. So it's time. It's time for everybody who voted against our girl Kamala, whether independent, Republican, whatever you were, it's time for all of you to admit that you were wrong. And here's the thing, as Democrats, right? We know that some of our Democratic politicians are wrong. We're wrong. When we observed that Biden wasn't handling certain shit right, we called him out. All of our politicians that are in office right now that we feel are not handling business, we get on here and we call them out every day. We are not expecting perfection. Here's the thing. We weren't even expecting perfection from the Republican Party or from DJT, but we were expecting humanity. And that's what we're not getting. So it's time. It's not time for us to make any moves. We need to continue to stand 10 toes down. It's time for y'all to make a move and denounce that cult. And y'all don't even have to go full Democrat, because I know for a lot of Republicans, Democrat is such a nasty word. Y'all don't even have to go full Democrat. But it is time for y'all to admit that y'all were wrong and denounce that cult. Even if you move from Republican to independent. Matter of fact, you ain't even got to move. Just let us know that you understand that you were the fuck wrong and you are not in support of what is happening with this administration. That's it. But as far as purple, no. The blue, we stand at 10 toes down because we know exactly what was going to happen. We warned y'all what was going to happen, and y'all still voted against us. So take some ownership, take some accountability for your contribution to voting in this fascist regime, and y'all make a move.
Purple Revolution Man changed his name to Restoring Old America, and now the truth is out. Just like I told y'all in the beginning, this man has not left the right. He is the right. What he was doing was simply peeking his head out of the door to let us know, hey, these people have guns and they blow shit up for fun, and y'all might want to come and join forces with us. Because the whole point was not that they needed voices, it's that they needed expendable bodies. They needed shields of war. They needed manpower, so that they could overthrow the government that they voted in, the system that they have protected and still do protect. But now that it's not doing what they wanted it to do, which is protect them and fuck the rest of us over, now they want our labor to help them get it back to the way they want, i.e. restoring old America. And here's the thing, we never asked him to coddle anyone's feelings. We asked him to have morality, values, human decency, and to care about human rights for all, not just the people that look like him or that are affected by classism alone, or the people that believe in his religion, which he's already said he's not willing to do. Because again, he is still the far right. He has not left the cult. Like a lot of y'all keep saying, y'all can't push people away when they leave the cult. Okay, but they have to leave the cult first, which he hasn't done. Sure, he made an apology video saying that he was sorry he voted for Trump, but the reason behind why he's sorry he voted for Trump is because it's negatively impacting him, and he thought that Trump lied to him. He still supports the man. He still believes in the same things. He's just not happy that now he's seeing negative repercussions for his choices. He doesn't give two shits that it's negatively impacting everyone else that does not look or believe like he does. And for someone who claims to not care about feelings, he sure is having a lot of them. And the crazy part is that he literally proved our point by sitting here in this video saying that he needed to warn us about the right because they're armed and blow shit up for fun. He just sold us, solidified what we've been saying, that the people that he wants us to unify with are armed, violent, and unstable. Huh? And I don't know who he's talking about saying that nobody else has stepped up and taken a leadership role and stuck their neck out. Baby, that tells me everything I need to know about you. You don't follow anybody of color. You don't follow black people. You don't follow anybody on the left. You don't follow anybody that's even remotely middle ground, if even that. Because people have been putting their necks on the lines for decades. People have been organizing and fighting this system for decades. And it's crazy because they've been fighting for your rights while you've been saying fuck you to everybody else. Fuck your feelings, fuck your rights. I only care about me. But now that it's affecting you, you're saying that you're doing the most. You have taken on a leadership role and no one else has. No one else has taken the flack but you. Baby, the side of human rights is the fight. Y'all are the ones who have not stuck your necks out. Y'all are the ones who are late to the party. You can't show up to a protest late and then ask everybody else, where have y'all been? Civil rights, women's rights, LGBTQIA plus rights, shit, anti-war movements. Baby, that was us. Not the people playing army cosplay in the woods. A real revolution does not try to restore old America. It tries to build a better one that includes all, that gives human rights to all, that all people deserve equity and liberty and freedom and justice, the right to live, the right to thrive, not just the white ones, not just the rich ones, not just the ones who are Christian. And see, now this man is melting down under the weight of accountability and calling it we're being mean or we're talking shit. And that tells us you are not ready for this conversation nor this fight. Textbook fragile masculinity meets white savior complex meets wannabe revolutionary ego trip. See, he's mad because he thought he could build a movement, a revolution centered around himself and his people, as he calls them, the right. And when people did not crown him king of this movement, he jumped at us saying, y'all are too emotional, fuck your feelings. Oh, so that's his tactic to avoid accountability, to completely avoid any self-reflection. And then he went from unity to restore old America. That tells us everything we need to know. That's not revolution, that's regression. You don't get to talk about revolution while upholding the very people who implement the systems of harm that you're claiming to want to fight. And you don't get to cry about being attacked because you got called out and held accountable. Accountability is not oppression, my love. It is simply the price you pay, the cost of admission, if you will, to real change. But if your instinct is to immediately run back to old America, then that tells me your revolution was never about unity, nor was it ever about liberation for all. It was about power. So it turns out that purple was just red, white, and blue all along. The sheepskin done come off. He's still the wolf, and he always was. Welcome to Narcissistic Abuse 101, The Unity Meltdown. As I'm sure we've all seen, Mr. Restoring Old America, aka Purple Revolution, aka the man who thought he started a revolution, has unfortunately had a full-blown narcissistic meltdown on camera. And we are going to break it down, line by line. Buckle up. You're too afraid to hold the left accountable, he says. This is classic projection. He's doing exactly what he's accusing everyone else of doing. When you refuse to be held accountable, you blame everyone else for lacking integrity. That's narcissistic rule number 1. If I did it, no I didn't, but if you did it, it's unforgivable. 4 number 1776 hurt your feelings. Ah yes, the hurt feelings argument. Sir, nobody's feelings are hurt. People are simply pointing out that 1776 is the year that freedom was declared for some and enslavement was cemented for others. That's not feelings, that's facts. 1776 was freedom for landowning white men. That's all. Y'all thought I was about to say the N-word. If people think you were about to say the N-word, even though you weren't and you simply misspoke, maybe it's not because y'all are sad. Maybe it's because your energy stays orbiting too close to racist language. People pick up on patterns. We hear patterns, and the pattern here is very loud. When people assume that you were probably about to say it, that's not them. It's you. Y'all are crazy R-words, pussy-ass people. Ah yes, now we're in the devaluation stage. Narcissists love when they're admired. Everything's all gravy. But then they turn on you as soon as they are criticized in the slightest. Narcissists make no room for critique. This is textbook emotional abuse. He's trying to shame and belittle us into silence. We know the cycle. Love bombing to devaluation to rage. Y'all think y'all can win a war when words hurt your feelings. This is patriarchal logic. The idea that empathy makes you weak. But the truth is, emotional intelligence is power. If your revolution requires apathy, it's not a revolution. It's a dictatorship. Empathy does not equal weakness, and control does not equal leadership. I'm neutral. I'm not on the right. If you gotta scream neutrality, you're probably not neutral. That's just guilt disguised as balance. In moments of oppression, neutrality always sides with the oppressor. See Dean Withers. Neutrality is never neutral under oppression. You're selfish. You're hypocrites. You're a cult. More projection. He's calling the left a cult because we won't let him be the leader. He wanted followers, not partners, and not accomplices. The moment people didn't worship him, we became the enemy. When you reject a narcissist's control, they call it betrayal. I tried to help y'all and y'all bash me. This is emotional blackmail. Translation, if you won't let me abuse you, I won't help you. He's holding support hostage to punish people for having boundaries. Because boundaries feels like betrayal to manipulators. I don't give a fuck about fighting for people's human rights. Oh, there it is. The quiet part, but loud. He never believed in human rights. He believed in being the hero of the story. Once he stopped being praised, he quit. That's not neutrality. That is narcissism, because performative activism collapses without attention. Y'all are selfish. I tried, man. And here comes the final act, self-pity. He goes from rage to victimhood. That's the narcissistic loop. Abuse, deflect, play victim, repeat. This is why you always trust your intuition, because his words proved what we already knew to be true. So no, sir, you didn't start a revolution. You started a tantrum. And the people you tried to manipulate, we're just documenting the evidence. Class dismissed. The phrase, "the enemy of my enemy is my friend," is dangerous and morally lazy. It is not deep. It is simply the coward's shortcut to ethics. It is for people who want power without having to check principle. It is a phrase that was built for warlords and colonizers, for people who don't care what they align with as long as they win. But some of us actually care what comes after the victory. Because what good is tearing down the system if we're just going to put up a new anti-human system in a new purple uniform? If your revolution means standing next to people that hate my existence, then that's not unity, it's betrayal dressed up as strategy. The enemy of my enemy can still be my oppressor. The enemy of my enemy is still racist and homophobic and transphobic and xenophobic and misogynist and ableist and anti-human. And if you are willing to look past all of that for the greater good, then maybe you and your enemy are one and the same, or you aren't that different in the first place. Human rights are not up for debate. You cannot compromise on whether people should be allowed to live safe, free, and equal. That is not up for discussion. That is a demand. The enemy of my enemy still ain't my friend if your unity requires me to silence or backburner my humanity and the existence of everyone else.
I'm going to say something that's probably going to stir some feathers this morning. I've been doing it for quite a while, and I'm going to probably keep doing it. I've seen a lot of talk about this purple revolution going on in the United States, and I'm going to explain how it applies to here in Canada and how actually we've already gone through the purple revolution and proved that this shit doesn't work. The United States attempted to do a purple revolution before this point. Some people fell for it and it didn't happen, but this is not the first attempt at a purple revolution. Voting Liberal or Democrat is purple revolution. It's always been purple revolution. And I want you to be acutely aware of that. Even more in the case of Mark Carney here on so-called Canada, the stolen land, Turtle Island, that was purple revolution. When you take a recently liberal popped out of the nowhere who worked with the conservatives for a very long time, made his name in conservative government, made his name in conservative capitalism, comes up and pops up as suddenly a liberal on the ticket. This is purple. This is purple revolution. And it's the same with Kamala Harris. Someone who was a DA, someone who spent their career subjugating and harming the population, and then goes into liberal, democratic party suddenly. None of them ever were anything other than just settling to give a little bit so that we can get together and get what we want, and then still shove the most vulnerable into the corners. And I want to go even further and say that as someone who worked within the NDP, when the most marginalized come out and say the NDP cannot be trusted, the NDP cannot be trusted. If you think that the NDP lost all of their seats simply because we gave in to the purple revolution that is Carney, you are wrong. Because a lot of us decided to sit out because we finally understood that there is nothing within a colonial system that will destroy the colonial system and do what is necessary to give the land back to Indigenous people. And might I remind you that when colonizers came to this land, the indigenous people were willing to share. Where do you think treaties came from? They were willing to cohabitate. They knew the land provided what is necessary, and they knew that there were points of unity, that we could work together and help each other survive. The signing of those treaties by colonizers was a form of purple revolution, because they didn't intend to follow through on anything. And while so-called Canadians continue to point the finger at the United States and be like, ooh, we're not like them, we're still okay, while simultaneously getting horrified at how bad things are getting there, they don't realize that things have already been that bad here for decades. And they're getting worse. Y'all just keep looking to your brother to make sure that you're the better kid. So at the end of the day, it's time we sit in the discomfort that we can't work together. Because our expectations of working together is that you see us as human beings. But your expectation of us working together is that we shut the fuck up and disappear. And that doesn't work for the vast majority of us. Just like it hasn't worked this entire time. So, friendly reminder, the only actual real solution is land back and the dissolution of colonial entities. And when they dissolve, the complete extraction of any colonial or settler identity from governance has to be done. That is the only solution. Because the fact is, if you come to visit my house uninvited, unexpected, and pretend like you're going to be my guest only to take my shit, you're not conquering me. You're flat out stealing. And if you can't tell the difference, that's a you problem. And you need to be ready for when my house retaliates.
Do not trust that purple revolution bullshit. At all. If the purple revolution ain't led by Prince himself, do not trust it. I smell a mean double cross coming. A mean double cross coming. No. For my professional wrestling girlies, you will understand this reference. The Purple Revolution is giving very much when Shawn Michaels decides to turn heel, and he gives you that random ass sweet chin music to start his heel turn. It's given that.
I got from this video, and it's even getting crazier. The truth is that I am going to put a picture. Okay, there is a need for the picture of the person that started the Pe0ple Revolution. What I wanted to know is that MAGA started Pe0ple Revolution. I don't know who they are trying to revolute, but this is how far it's going so far. You know, starting Pe0ple Revolution for who? They are looking for whom to recruit. They apologize to Black people for what they did, and Black people refused the apology. They became really very aggressive. And then the person that told you that he was starting a Pe0ple Revolution, which he actually changed his name to Pe0ple Revolution, decided to change his name back to Restoring Old America. That is a dog whistle. In fact, he is a racist. You and I know that. And they are trying to use Black people, not knowing that Black people are ahead of them. The truth is that Black people, there is no need for Pe0ple or Green Revolution. Why? Because Black people did the right thing. You guys did not do the right thing. Go fix yourself up. It's just like after the election, you and I remember there was a blue bracelet. This is more like what they started. I just do not understand one. I just do not understand why people and accountability. They will always look for somebody to lure in into that accountability and make it look like, in fact, there is nothing like accountability, and there is no need even trying to hold them accountable for what they did. Let them hold themselves. If anytime they decided that we messed up, they can actually see how far this administration, in fact, the administration is actually taking them where they do not expect, where they do not even know, where they did not see themselves going, and they cannot hold it. At this point, they do not believe it. They do not even, if you tell them that this is where you will be, that by this time this year, they will never agree to it. They will never believe that this was going to be their story. But at this point in time, this is their story. Yes, it is what it is. And it's left for them to accept it and do better in the next time. But one thing I'm going to tell you is that these people are not ready to do better, because with everything going on today, if you can see locally some elections going on and all that, they will still vote people that look like them, that they know that would not perform. So what are you trying to do? What are you trying to create? Not until they have their wake-up call, because there is need for them to have wake-up call. Not until them black people continue to live your life. Let them continue with their purple revolution that they know that it will take them nowhere. I will draw the curtain here. Bye for now.